The finale puts Drew through hell. He's chained up in silver restraints, forced to face the reanimated corpse of Brogan, and made to listen while Van Kasken lays out his twisted plan. The warlord wants Drew to sign a confession, saying he's not Wergar's son and has no claim to the throne, a fake admission meant to crush the loyal cities. Drew refuses, but when Van Kasken drags out Trent as leverage, Drew finally gives in and signs. Van Kasken betrays him immediately, turning Brogan loose on Trent. That's when Drew tosses the confession into the fire and fights against the silver bonds. Van Kasken mocks him, confident that nothing can break pure silver. But fate tips the scales. Brogan's sword shatters Drew's restraints. Drew transforms into his wolf form, shocking his captor. The two finally clash head-on. Van Kasken tries to break him physically and mentally, insisting Drew isn't fit to be king. But Drew takes control of the undead army that Van Kasken had been using, sending them after their master. They rip Van Kasken apart, turning his own weapon against him. Drew rushes to Trent, knowing his brother isn't safe by his side. He pushes him to flee while he stays behind. By the time Whitley and Gretchen storm in with their army, they see Drew cornered on the balcony. They watch him leap into the water below. Whitley breaks down, convinced he's dead, while Drew's last flashes of memory show him clinging to the good times with his friends. But Drew isn't gone. A shadowy figure carries him away from the citadel. When he wakes, it's Kessler. Drew insists he has to get back to Lycia for his people, but Kessler says that Drew belongs to him now. Drew pushes back, claiming his name, his bloodline, and his right to rule. He swears he'll return no matter how far he's taken. Kessler only laughs, and that's where the season cuts off. While Drew was suffering earlier, Whitley and Gretchen were dragged before Baba Korga. Korga assured them they were safe and even returned Whitley's horse Chancer. Whitney and Gretchen spotted Conrad and Baron Ewan having an argument. Gretchen confronted them about their betrayal with Drew, hexing her and Whitley and letting Brogan die. Conrad tried to defend himself as doing what he thought was best for his city, while Ewan expresses regret for taking blood money. Gretchen and Whitley pushed them to redeem themselves by joining the fight to reclaim Cape Gala. Slowly, an army began to rally. The plan seemed doomed at first. The bridge was empty of guards, but the Sky Stable was crawling with dread swords. Conrad panicked, certain it was impossible, but Ewan stepped up, using his powers to trick the enemy into opening the gates. The rebels seized their chance. Whitley, Gretchen, and the others stormed in, cutting through the dread swords. They eventually fought their way into the citadel, but by then Drew had already faced Van Kasken. What they witnessed instead was Drew's shocking leap into the waters below. Meanwhile, the power struggle shifts on the Cat Lord's side. Prince Lucas finally arrives at the stronghold, welcomed like a new ruler. He vows punishment for anyone who crossed them, already talking gallows and retribution. Orsino keeps him grounded, reminding him that his father nearly destroyed everything with reckless choices, and that strength must be projected carefully. But ceremony quickly turns brutal. Van Morton restrains Leopold, while Orsino hands Lucas a sword, pushing him to claim his crown the hard way. Leopold begs, but Lucas strikes him down, killing his own father. Orsino crowns him king in the aftermath, signaling a new darker era for the Cat Lords.